Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to be discussing the future of DC under James Gunn and Peter Safran, along of the direction they're going to be taking, and basically what's gone on in past with the future actors and some casting rumours that have now been debunked. So right now, basically James Gunn has come out with Peter Safran and they've released a tweet that says, "Peter and I have a DC slate ready to go, which we couldn't be more over the moon about. We'll be able to share some more exciting information about our first projects at the beginning of the year. Among those on the slate is Superman. In the initial stages, our story will be focusing on an earlier part of Superman's life, so the character will not be played by Henry Cavill," which I know a lot of us have been a bit upset about, including myself. I thought Henry Cavill is a brilliant Superman. I think he's a great actor. I liked him before he became Superman, especially in the film A Man from U.N.C.L.E. Now, what's kind of happening there is it's a double-edged sword, because one, I will miss Henry Cavill as Superman, but I'm also happy that he is not Superman anymore, because he can go work on some passion projects, which one that I'm very looking forward to is the Warhammer 40k show that he will be bringing out, which I will be doing updates on the more that news comes out about that show. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see more information about that show. But focusing more on DC at the moment, so they've said that it will focus on Superman at an earlier part of his life. Now, it won't be an origin story, so it won't be an origin one at all. So he will be Superman, just a much younger Superman, and basically how he's starting off in his life. Now, there were some rumors floating about that Jacob Elordi was going to be playing. James Gunn has come out and says, "My thoughts are no one has been cast as Superman yet. Casting, as is almost always is the case with me, will happen after the script is finished or almost close to finished, and it isn't. We'll announce a few things in not too long, but the casting as Superman won't be one of them." So obviously they have an idea who they want Superman to be, but it won't be coming out for quite a while. Now, the main thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is the roadmap for DC. So I have spent the last 20 years of my life embedded in the DC animated universe. I have seen all of the DC animated movies and TV shows. Some of my favorite things to watch growing up, and even into my adult life, watching them all. Now, actually I lie, not 25 years, nearly 30 years I've been watching all of the DC stuff. So when I say that I'm heavily invested in DC, I prefer DC over Marvel. DC is my go-to. My bookshelves have a lot of DC content on them, and I don't think they can go the Marvel route, okay? Iron Man came out at this stage, what now, 15 years ago? So Marvel have had 15 years to build up their universe, okay? And they have done a good job at it. Phase 1, 2 and 3, all great, built up, very good. Phase 4, I believe, is very lacking. I haven't actually been keeping up too much with it. There's a lot of stuff I've actually missed in Phase 4, because basically a lot of it isn't interesting me, and I just haven't been bothered to go with it. Now, one of the main things that I believe DC should do is don't go the Marvel route at all. Focus on what DC is good at, okay? So if you look at the animated movies, okay, they expect you to go in with a knowledge of who these people are, what type of heroes they are, and very little massive explanation. They kind of expect you to already know the world. So if you look at the animated movies, especially the new 52 line of animation movies that came out a few years ago, that started with a Flashpoint, there was no over explaining. There was no holding your hand through it. They're like, this is stuff you know. If you don't know, go Google it. Essentially, that's the approach those movies took, and that's what I liked about them. They wanted you going in knowing this information. That's the route I think they need to take with these DC movies. Okay, they are 15 years behind. That's it. 15 years they're behind Marvel at this stage. So they don't have the time to catch up. They don't have the resources to catch up. There's no way they can bust out 10 movies a year and 5 TV shows at this point to catch up to Marvel. They need to follow the route of, you already know who these characters are, we're not going to over explain things, which is how Marvel did it in the initial stages. We started with Iron Man, we had Thor, Captain America, everything was explained, the basis was built on, the character's foundation was there, and everything was explained. DC don't have time for that. If the DC universe live action is going to be a success, they need to take the approach of, you already know this universe. That's how they have to do it. They cannot do the hand holding. And as I said, I am an avid DC fan. I have watched these animated properties and read the comics for so long. And because the animated has been so ingrained in society, a lot of people already know these backstories. They already know who Lobo is. They already know who Green Lantern is. They already know who Superman is, Batman is. They know Batman's backstory. They know Superman's backstory. There's been God knows how many movies over the past 3-4 decades about Superman, Batman. Just obviously that one bad Green Lantern movie, but on the animated side, some very good Green Lantern movies. So I believe they need to go in with the approach of, we know that you know who these people are. We're not going to over-explain it. Just get straight into it, okay? We've seen Superman's origin. We've seen Batman's origin. We don't need to see another one. And I'm glad when I heard that James Gunn came out and said that they're doing it in the early stages of his career, but not an origin story. I was like, good. That's the approach you need to be taking. Now, in terms of the cast, obviously we know Ben Affleck is gone, Henry Cavill is gone, Matt Reeves' Batman is in Elseworld story, so that will continue, but it will be separate to the main universe. So it's an Elseworld story, and for those of you that don't know what Elseworld are, they're basically stories from different universes outside the main DC timeline. So that will be an Elseworld story. I have heard that they may be doing some other Elseworld projects, which I obviously will be reporting on the more that come in. So yeah, I do believe that they need to focus more on just, the story, let's get into it. Now, in terms of Ezra Miller, there has been reports come out that he will be staying on. Now, that has not, and I will repeat, not being confirmed by James Gunn. It is basically a few Warner Brothers executives have come out and said, we would like him to stay on, and James Gunn has basically come out and said, I don't know what's out there about Ezra, but our slate is 8 to 10 years, but we will be announcing some of it this month. Now, that was released on the 5th of January. He tweeted that out. So he has not confirmed if Ezra Miller is staying on, and he has not denied it either. As I said, this was just a few Warner Brothers executives. Now, I'm under the firm belief that if Cavill's out, Affleck's out, Gal Gadot is out, Ezra is out. I actually never liked him as the Flash at all. I don't think he got the character. I don't think he understood what the Flash was, who the Flash is. It's just not, he was not a good Flash in my eyes. I never really liked him as the Flash. Loved Gal Gadot, Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill as obviously Wonder Woman, Batman and Superman. They were great, but Ezra Miller was never a big fan of him as the Flash. So I do believe he has to go. Obviously Flashpoint is coming up, and obviously Michael Keaton will be in it as Thomas Wayne, and then obviously there'll be, I think, about 3 Ezras I think they're doing, where he'll be multiple Flashes. So we'll have to see how that ends, but this is the rebooting of the timeline. Same way that the original Flashpoint was, it was the rebooting of the timeline. So it basically created an entire new universe, and if you followed the animated movies, that's how they did it in the animated movies as well. It just rebooted the universe. Now, DC Animated and DC Comics especially have had quite a few reboots. So we'll see how that unfolds. But my opinion is, if Henry Cavill, Ben Affleck and Gal Gadot are gone, yeah, just start anew. But go in with the knowledge of, we understand. We know you know this world. We're not going to over-explain it. And they can kind of bring it up to maybe a phase 3 level. So there's no use doing like a phase 1, phase 2 of Marvel. Just bring it to the phase 3. Get your characters in. Get a Superman, get a Batman, get a Wonder Woman, get a Green Lantern. Love Green Lantern. Get a Green Lantern movie out there, and then see where it goes. and then have the big threat come in, big Justice League threat come in. I don't know if it'll be Darkseid. I doubt it'll be Darkseid, because obviously they tried to do that route in the Snyderverse. So they might bring in, I don't know, maybe some other big bad other than Darkseid, but we'll have to see where that goes. But just bring it straight to phase 3. Don't build it up. Just get those movies out and then get your big bad. That's how I believe the DC extended universe here in the cinematic will be successful. And yeah, I'm hoping that's the way it goes. Now, if you do agree with me, let me know. If you disagree with me, let me know. I want to see different viewpoints on this. I want to see where you think the DC universe will go. That's what I want from this discussion. What do you want from the DC universe? Because we've been let down so much over the past 10 years that this needs to be a hit. This needs to be a success. They need to do this right. So let me know down in those comments what you are expecting from this DC universe. I really want to know your opinion on this. And of course, if you like what you heard today, and if you didn't like what you heard today, let me know. But also, it would really help if you hit that subscribe button and hit that like button, as it does help the channel out a lot. And the more news that comes out about the DC universe, the more I will be making these videos. And obviously my opinion will be coming out, but I will also take on board your opinion. So I want to see different viewpoints, because there's no point in me coming out and giving my opinion if I'm not taking on board the people that are watching this video, my subscribers, my viewers. I want to know what your thoughts are on DC. So drop a comment down below and let me know. And until next time, I'll catch you on the next one. And thank you very much for tuning in.